When things get really down to basics, like survival, then our basic nature comes to the surface. When we're down to essence, we become our essence. And what are people saying now? People who didn't know, people who didn't learn, people who are not even looking to go to Israel. But they're all screaming, Am Yisrael Chai. That we are an eternal people, we're not going anywhere. Where is that coming from? It's amazing. We are amazing. We are amazing. We just don't realize how amazing we are because we're so humble. We have been so humbled, we don't know how to stop.
I heard someone say this morning, she was saying, we don't believe that we have a soul. We don't believe that we have a neshama. And because we don't believe, so that's we're so much more, we don't even understand, we can't understand our power because we don't believe we have any. And I guess part of what you're saying is just it's coming out naturally right now because you are seeing so many things you've never seen before or experienced before.
It's amazing. It's like 50 years ago, there was a surprise attack on Yom Kippur. Miracles happened, and this year, the surprise attack came on Simchat Torah. I don't know what it means exactly, but it is really, really significant. For months after the Yom Kippur War, the entire Jewish people were in a Yom Kippur mood. It was like, okay, we won the war, we defended ourselves, everything's better now, but there was a very serious mood, like a Yom Kippur mood. So Yom Kippur lasted like for 3 months that year. Now, the attack was on Simchat Torah, we're still dancing. It's so strange. It's still Simchat Torah. Isn't it? It's like, we didn't dance after the Yom Kippur War. It's so different. But there is this subconscious or essential neshama that knows how to respond. And this time the response has to be a Simchat Torah response, which is really... And the first victims of the massacre were people at a dance festival, a song festival, on Simchat Torah. They're dancing. They think they're dancing because they're in the mood. They're dancing because it's Simchat Torah and your neshama wants to dance. We are. Look, 50 years ago, it happened on Yom Kippur, which tells us who was attacked, who was hurt. Yom Kippur people. The people of Yom Kippur. The Jewish people. This year we were attacked on Simchat Torah. Who was attacked? Simchat Torah people. So we know who the attackers are, and we know who we are. We are Simchat Torah people. We are Yom Kippur people. We are the Jewish people. We're just not confident enough to present ourselves that way to the world, and the world needs us to do that.
What would it mean to present ourselves as Simchat Torah people to the world right now?
Well, just technically speaking, whenever Israeli politicians or leaders speak to the world, all they ever say is, we're the only democracy in the Middle East. They've been saying this for 70 years, and no one is impressed yet. No one in the Middle East. In America, they're impressed, but we're not dealing with America. So if we would stop saying we are the only democracy in the Middle East, and we would say instead, we are the chosen people. We dance on Simchat Torah. We fast on Yom Kippur. We eat matzah on Pesach. We are the people of Israel, the children of Israel. We are the ones who inherit this land. So, relax. It's ours.
You're saying to own what it is to fully own what it is to be a Jew means owning what? Every part of Torah, mitzvot, Israel.
Everything Jewish, because we are the chosen people.
A lot of people have a lot of challenges with the Jews. So how do we, because I think it's misinterpreted. So in your words, what does it mean to be the chosen people? Because for me, it's very clear that it's not because, quote unquote, we're better. It's not the intention behind it. But it's hard to put into words what that means. So in your words, what does it to be the chosen people?
Yeah. So in practical application for today's matzav, for the situation today, the descendants of Ishmael, who was a son of Avraham, believe that they inherited the land from Avraham, because Eretz Yisrael was given to Avraham as an inheritance. Who inherits? Good people? Bad people? No. A biological child. So what does it mean to be the chosen people? We are the descendants of Avraham, and therefore we inherit his land.
But technically speaking, there's other descendants of Abraham.
That's where the fight is.
Correct.
Because they claim and believe that they are the inheritors, which explains why they can't stand our very existence. If two brothers are arguing over a Yerusha, over an inheritance, how is that ever resolved?
One wins out the fight.
You can't win. As long as you exist, you're a threat. Just by existing. Because if you're a 2-month-old baby, you inherit the whole land.
Just to understand from a little bit of my naive perspective, if it was given as an inheritance to Avraham, so where does the line get drawn?
The line of inheritance?
Yes.
That's exactly what the Torah says. Sarah told Avraham, send away Hagar and her son, because he will not inherit with Yitzchak. That's when this war began, 4,000 years ago.
And why do you think Hashem wanted the Jewish people to specifically to have a land? Because clearly we do well elsewhere as well. We're able to integrate into the world. Why do we need a land?
Why do we need to be born at all?
Oof, that's a much deeper question I was getting at, but by all means.
We are given a holy land, like some kind of a sample of what the world should look like. Our job is to make the entire world a holy land. There should be no place on God's world that isn't holy. So it's certainly not enough that one tiny little geographic location, literally tiny, that's the whole holiness of the whole world? No, it can't be. That's a sample. Our mission throughout history is you'll end up in other lands and you'll make that a holy land wherever you are. That's what Gullus means. It's not just suffer. Don't suffer for nothing. The reason we're spread all over the world is because every country needs to become the Holy Land.
So this is where I get stuck. Because you have a whole dialogue, especially that's coming more alive right now, that's saying, looking at all of us all around the world, everything that's happening, regardless of the fact that there's a war in Israel, and saying, you're crazy. Come home. Come to the true. Come to the holy place.
Right.
Don't, quote unquote, suffer over there or risk yourself over. Come here. And it's something that it eats at me, because on one hand, I hear it. And I was kind of in that mindset for a long time. And I'm trying to piece, there's like a little bit of validity to it. From what you're saying, so maybe there's not. I don't know. I don't know how to reconcile.
There is a little bit of legitimacy to it. But that's like saying to the soldiers who are in Gaza today, what are you doing? Come home. You would love to come home, but we got to make it safe. The only way to make the world safe is if the whole world becomes holy. So wherever we are scattered, wherever we find ourselves, we are bringing holiness to that place. So if you want to know, when did this war actually begin? So, yeah, you could say it began 4,000 years ago when Sarah banished Yishmael from her house. Or go back even further. When God created the world, the first thing he said to the first human being is, be fruitful and multiply, fill the world, and conquer it. Milu es haaretz v'kifshuha. Conquer it? Isn't that a war? Yes, it's a war. The war is, the world is dark and ungodly. Change it. That's it. That's when it began. Today we call it tikkun olam.
I wanted to ask you about that.
When you say tikkun olam, is that not a declaration of war?
Is it? I don't know. I never thought of it like that.
Yes, you're saying the world is not the way it should be. Let's fix it. Okay, so you've got a battle. You have a conflict. The darkness pulls in one direction, the light pulls in the other direction, and we got to fix it. So how do you fix it? Today, the way to fix it is not through war. Today, the way to fix it is to add more light. Because this war is basically a result of ignorance, of confusion. The reason Islam believes that they are the inheritors is because Avraham didn't believe in idols, neither do they. Have no idols. Avraham was circumcised, so are they. Avraham prayed to God and to nobody else, so do they. So they feel that they are the rightful inheritors of Avraham's land, which God gave to him. What about the Jewish people? They don't think we're Jewish anymore. We assimilated. We're not Avram's children anymore. That's what they believe. And that's why they feel very righteous about claiming the land. This is why two-state solution makes them laugh. What do you mean two-state solution? It's our land. We inherit it. You're going to give us pieces of our land? There's no point in discussing this. Well, let's share. We'll give away parts. They're laughing at you. It's our land. What do you mean you're giving it to us? See, if it's an inheritance, it changes everything. If it's an inheritance for all generations to come, then you can't settle for half. What kind of negotiation is that? It's all ours. And we don't have to capture it. So even if we beat you up and throw you out, that's not the point. The point is, it's already ours. We inherit it. Now, if there is a Jew, now we've got problems. Because if there is a real Jew in the world, he inherits this land. They know that. And even if that Jew is a baby, babies inherit. You see what's going on here?
So the Jew can't exist.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not beat up the Jew. It's not good enough. As long as a Jew exists, it's a threat, even if it's a baby, which is why they don't think babies are civilians. They don't think there are any civilians. A Jew who exists is a threat. Their only hope is we're not really Jews. So what is our answer? Am Yisrael Chai. We are still the children of Israel.